The Witcher is the story of those three main characters: the monster hunter Geralt of Rivia, the princess of Cintra Ciri, and the mage in training Yennefer of Vengerberg. As the series continues, it is later revealed that the lives of the trio are all intertwined. The series begins with Geralt killing monsters for money. However, Geralt was still one of principles. He wouldn't kill someone that wasn't a monster. Geralt is paid to kill a woman named Renfri, but he initially declines. But when he witnesses her threatening the life of a younger girl, Geralt goes ahead and kills her. Before the death of Renfri, she tells Geralt one last thing: "The girl in the woods will be with you always. She is your destiny." The girl in the woods being none other than Ciri. Ciri is the princess of Cintra, who has supernatural abilities, but is yet to explore and develop them. When her hometown is attacked by Nilfgaardians, Ciri is warned by her grandmother, Queen Calanthe, of impending danger and asks her to go after Geralt. "Find Geralt of Rivia. He is your destiny." Shortly after giving her instructions, Queen Calanthe kills herself to avoid being tortured by the Nilfgaardians. One of the Nilfgaardians, Cahir, who is a young commander, goes after Ciri. However, he is unable to capture her. Ciri hides in the woods and spends time in the Cintrian refugee camp. In episode 4, we are taken back to Ciri's mother, Pavetta. A wedding is arranged for Pavetta, but she is not happy about it. On the eve of the wedding, Urchion, a knight, lays claim to Pavetta, saying that she belongs to him by law of surprise. This causes an uproar, which Geralt defends Urchion. Urchion had saved Pavetta's father in the past and was offered the law of surprise. Urchion expresses his gratitude to Geralt for standing by him. He agrees to the law of surprise as his reward. With this law of surprise, Geralt could actually return at any time to take something or someone from Urchion. Then there's Yennefer, who was a poor village girl, constantly victimized for her deformities, which is a result of her part elf and part human blood. On one faithful day, Yennefer transports herself into the magic Aretuza Academy. While there, she becomes acquainted with a young sorcerer, Istred. Later on, Yennefer transports herself back to the village, but she doesn't stay there for long. The headmistress of Aretuza, Tissaia de Vries, comes to the village to buy Yennefer from her father at a very low price. Tissaia takes Yennefer with her back to Aretuza with the intention of developing her powers to become a mage. It turns out that Yennefer and Istred share a common connection, but the relationship breaks up because Istred is working for Stregobor. It is revealed that Stregobor is evil and believes in an ancient prophecy called the Curse of the Black Sun. Stregobor's agenda is to destroy the women born during a specific eclipse. Next, Yennefer and Geralt eventually cross paths. But before this happens, a mage helps to remove Yennefer's deformities, making her straight and more beautiful. However, this had its own consequences. As a result of this transformation, Yennefer would never be able to bear a child. Yennefer becomes arrogant and refuses to pay her magic taxes to the kingdom. This necessitated her arrest by the mayor of Rinde, Beau Berant. After the arrest, Yennefer uses her magic power to get into the mind of the mayor. She places the mayor in a trance and takes charge of his house. It was inside the mayor's home that Yennefer and Geralt finally meet for the first time. Elsewhere, Geralt is traveling with his partner Jaskier, locates a djinn in a bottle. They are given the opportunity to make 3 wishes. Geralt wishes for peace, and this causes his traveling partner, Jaskier, to instantly become ill. While searching for someone that can help Jaskier's life, Yennefer is recommended to Geralt. Geralt meets up with Yennefer inside the mayor's house and is able to convince her to save Jaskier. Unknown to Geralt, Yennefer had her own motive. She saves Jaskier, but tries to keep the djinn to herself. The djinn possesses Yennefer's body. Left with no other option, Geralt uses his last wish to save Yennefer. When the djinn leaves her body, Yennefer's health improves. In the following scene, Yennefer and Geralt become an item. While Yennefer was still possessed by the djinn, Geralt exhausts his wishes. Although his words are not audible to the viewers, the djinn leaves Yennefer's body immediately. In episode 6, it is revealed that Geralt used his last wish to demand that Yennefer should be with him forever. They both continue to get along romantically and otherwise. But Yennefer becomes furious when she learns of Geralt's wish. It makes all the affections that they have shared to look fake and imposed. Yennefer could no longer tell if she really liked Geralt or if she had been under the influence of magic. Yennefer separates herself from Geralt and goes her own way. In the ending part of Season 1, Geralt is informed of Cintra's invasion. He starts looking for Ciri. While Geralt is tracking down Ciri, he saves a businessman named Jurga, who was being attacked by ghouls. Although Geralt successfully delivers Jurga from the ghouls, he is bitten by one of them. At the same time, Ciri finds herself in a field with dead bodies all around her. She could not recall if she had killed them or not. A kind-hearted woman named Zola brings Ciri into her home. At night, Ciri gets the urge that Geralt is searching for her and steps out of the house. Meanwhile, Yennefer teams up with Tissaia and other brave mages to fight against the Nilfgaardian forces. As the fight is going on, Yennefer is injured in her stomach. However, she does her best to create a huge energy that destroys all Nilfgaardians. After this massive burst of energy, Tissaia is unable to find Yennefer in the field, and this made her conclude that the energy had killed her. On the other hand, the bite from the ghouls was causing Geralt to hallucinate. Geralt sees his mother in a dream before the impact of the bite clears out. Geralt tells the businessman, Jurga, to take him to Sodden, which was the location of a raging battle. Jurga heeds to his demands. As payment to Geralt for saving his life, Jurga also offers him the Law of Surprise. After hours of traveling, Jurga and Geralt arrive at Jurga's home. Surprisingly, Jurga's wife is none other than Zola. Zola informs them that she brought a girl home from the woods, and Geralt quickly concludes that the little girl must be Ciri. He goes outside of the house and into the forest. Ciri runs to meet with Geralt and hugs him like she had known him all his life. Geralt repeats the words Yennefer once said to him, "People linked by destiny will always find each other." As this hug was not enough surprise, Ciri also shocks both Geralt and the viewers by looking up at Geralt and asking, "Who is Yennefer?" Season 1 ends with this question, leaving everyone stunned and waiting for Season 2. But one thing was clear, and it was the magical powers of Ciri. In Season 2, Yennefer is assumed to be dead by most of the characters. Yennefer remains missing, and this transformation is further confirmed by the sorceress Tissaia. Geralt and Ciri meets with Tissaia, and she tells them that Yennefer is dead. At this point, the viewers are no longer sure if Yennefer is alive or not. The whole mystery is solved when Yennefer is subsequently captured by the Nilfgaardian mage Fringilla. Soon after, it becomes evident that Yennefer had lost her magic power due to the massive energy she created in Season 1. Believing that Yennefer is dead, Geralt focuses all his energy on protecting Ciri. They both travel down to the home of the Witchers, Caer Morin. On their way there, Geralt and Ciri had to kill Bruxa, a creature that delights in feeding on the blood of humans. Bruxa deceptively took on the form of a young woman. After defeating Bruxa, Geralt assures Ciri that he would always be there to protect her. Meanwhile, another character from Season 1 reemerges, the person himself, Cahir, the Nilfgaardian knight who has been searching desperately for Ciri. Sadly, he gets imprisoned after the Battle of Sodden by Tissaia. Cahir is painfully interrogated by Tissaia about the motives of Nilfgaard. Despite of all Tissaia's measures, Cahir refuses to give her any useful information. To the surprise of Tissaia, Yennefer makes an appearance at a fraternity meeting of mages. Tissaia advises her to keep a low profile. Yennefer follows Tissaia's advice, but her cover is soon blown. When she meets up with the mage, Stregobor, Yennefer is accused by Stregobor of being a spy from Nilfgaard. To vindicate herself, Yennefer is asked to kill Cahir in front of all of the northern kings. Instead of going along with it, Yennefer releases Cahir and they both escape together. However, Yennefer clears the air by telling Cahir that she only did it for herself. While fleeing from the meeting with the northern kings, Yennefer reconnects with Jaskier. Together, they decide to save the elves from the kingdom of Redania. However, their mission was not as successful as they hoped. Yennefer and Jaskier are arrested and scheduled for execution. When the time for execution draws nearer, Yennefer recites an incantation which he had remembered from a dream. With this incantation, Yennefer is transported to a hut which she had earlier seen in the vision. Inside the hut, she encounters Volethmir, a demon who takes the form of an elderly woman. Voleth tells Yennefer that there was only one way she could get her magic back, She must kidnap Ciri and deliver her to Sintra. Elsewhere, Ciri is training at Kaer Morhen to improve her sword skills. During training, Ciri is cut and her blood drops to the ground. Unlike the blood of regular humans, Ciri's blood causes purple flowers to instantly grow from the same spot where it spills on. This led to many assuming that Ciri's blood could be used to create more Witchers. Besides training, Ciri is also having funny dreams, where she sees a creature inviting her to the forest. In the following scene, Ciri and Geralt are surrounded by monsters. In a bid to find out why these monsters are after them, Geralt meets with the sorcerer Istredd, and they both come up to the conclusion that it must be a result of the conjunction of the spheres. Now, just in case you don't know what the conjunction of spheres is, it is an event that occurred years ago, before The Witcher ever came about. The blast opened the way for magic and monsters to enter into the world. While Geralt and Istredd are still brainstorming on the issue at hand, it turned out that they had both had a romantic relationship with Yennefer in the past. Istredd also informs Geralt that Yennefer is still alive. Before Geralt could finish processing this information, they both get the feeling that Ciri is in trouble. Elsewhere, she was being pursued in a dream state by the Wild Hunt. Ciri quickly lets out a cry to call for Geralt, but unfortunately, other creatures also hear that cry too. Ciri's screams also gets the attention of the Chernobog, a big creature from another realm. All these happen just before Yennefer is told to bring Ciri. Presently, Ciri has a couple of threats that are after her life. Geralt defeats the Chernobog, but sadly, he also loses his roach. Geralt and Ciri go together to Nenneke, a temple priestess who reveals to Geralt that Ciri is unique. She was born with elder blood in her veins, which was an old and powerful lineage. While Geralt and Ciri are still at the temple, Yennefer reunites with Geralt. Originally, she had come to the temple in search of Ciri, but Geralt had no idea of this. Rents attacks the group and Geralt defends Yennefer and Ciri. Rents is a mage who had been tracking down Ciri all this while. During the fight, Yennefer rushes off with Ciri. Geralt could sense that Yennefer had an ulterior motive, but he wasn't sure about it. The truth later dawns onto Geralt when he encounters Jaskier again. With the information from Jaskier, Geralt is now aware that Yennefer is taking Ciri to meet Volethmir, a demon who feeds on the pain of humans. Ciri also suspects Yennefer is taking her to a dangerous place. Geralt and Jaskier track Ciri down. Yennefer is forced by Geralt to recite the incantation that would take them directly to where Volethmir is. Unknown to them, the demon power had increased tremendously. She frees herself and possesses Ciri's body. Volethmir goes back to Kaer Morhen in Ciri's body. She uses Ciri to kill a large number of Witchers. All this time, Ciri is trapped inside the happy memories in her mind. Geralt observes that Ciri is possessed and Yennefer cuts her veins open to pull the demon out of Ciri's body. Ciri is fed to Volethmir's influence. She opens a portal that transports the three of them back to a safe place. Yennefer shocks everyone by healing a wounded Witcher. Her magical powers had returned after she offered herself to save Ciri. In the meantime, everything seems to be going great, but we can all easily predict that this peace won't last, as new threats are rising, especially after Tissaia informs a good number of kings and queens about the threat that Ciri poses. A bounty is placed on Ciri's head, and anyone that shields her. Back to Sintra, the Nilfgaardian ruler, Emir, locks up Fringilla and Cahir. He accuses them of deception and reveals the real reason why he had been in search of Ciri. She was his daughter, a shocking revelation that no one ever anticipated. The White Flame is Ciri's father. In Season 1, he was introduced as Urchion, the knight who had come to claim Ciri's mother, Pavida, by law of surprise. In Season 3, Episode 1, Ciri, Yennefer, and Geralt are still moving from place to place, trying to hide from multiple enemies. After a while, they decide to stop at a location that was under the protection of Yarpen Zigrid and his team. Meanwhile, Rents from Season 2 is still tracking down Ciri. As a part of Rents' plan, he visits a Jackapace trainer. The Jackapace seems to be a monster with scenting powers. Rents gives it a vial containing Ciri's blood, which he had earlier stolen for it to smell. Next, The scene cuts to reveal that the elves were still on the lookout for Ciri. Francesca is in the firm belief that Ciri is the one that will bring them into the mystical Dol Blathana. To help her achieve her mission, Francesca teams up with the gorilla, the Scoia'tael fighter, Gallatin. However, the duo have a hard time agreeing on their next step. While Francesca still thinks that they should head out for Ciri, Gallatin suggests that they should form an alliance with Nilfgaard. Back in Redania, King Vizimir gets impatient with his spy master, Sigismund Dijkstra, who has failed to bring him Princess Ciri. To get better results, Vizimir assigns his younger brother, Prince Radovid, to assist the spies, Dijkstra and Philippa Elhart in their mission. Meanwhile, the man guarding the hideout location of the threesome, Yarpen, informs Ciri that there will be a Belatin nearby. She pleads with Geralt and Yennefer to allow her to attend. At the end of the day, the three of them makes an appearance at the Belatin. They were all having a good time before the Jackapace arrive at their location and pursue Ciri through a maze. While fighting together, Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri are able to defeat the Jackapace. To deceive Rents and lure him out, Ciri is made to travel with Jaskier. At the same time, Jaskier is approached by the spies from King Vizimir, Philippa, and Radovid. They both discuss with Jaskier, convincing him to lead Ciri down to Redania. Philippa and Radovid also threaten Jaskier if he doesn't play along, they would destroy the elves. Few minutes later, after Jaskier's encounter with Redania spies, Yarpen arrives at Jaskier's place to tell him that Geralt needs his assistance. Just like they have planned, Rents comes for Ciri and is faced by Geralt and Yennefer. Jaskier goes back to meet with Philippa and Radovid. He suggests to them that they should search for Rents and kill him. If they are able to achieve this, they would gain Geralt's trust. By doing this, it will be easier for Ciri to come with them to Redania. In Season 3, Episode 2, Yennefer is taking Ciri with her to Aretuza, where she can get the necessary training. Elsewhere, Geralt and Jaskier have gone hunting for Rents. They learn from Fen and Rents' master. He is a sorcerer who lives in a castle called Vuelpane, situated in West Redania. Geralt departs for Vuelpane alone. Elsewhere, Yennefer and Ciri goes to see the sorcerer Kira. While there, Ciri causes an uproar when she tries to save a child prisoner. To avoid being killed by the owner of the prison, whom Ciri had freed, they all had to flee from the village. On getting to a different location, Yennefer takes out time to talk to Ciri on the need to always exercise caution. Yennefer explains that saving one life in the village will result in the death of 100 people. Ciri argues that Yennefer doesn't know what it's like to fight to control her life. Contrary to Ciri's thoughts, Yennefer knows more than she was letting on. To prove her point, Yennefer changes route and takes Ciri to her hometown. Yennefer shows Ciri's visions of herself. She tells Ciri of how her decisions had turned the North against the Brotherhood. At Aretuza, Tissaia and Vilgefortz advise Stregobord to chill and allow them to plan properly before going to kill Ciri. The relation between Vilgefortz and Tissaia is booming. Vilgefortz is seen giving Tissaia a bracelet as a symbol of his love. Geralt defeats a monster in Vuelpane and rescues a young, ashen-haired girl named Taryn. The most shocking part is that Taryn introduces herself to Geralt as Ciri. On the other hand, Rents pays Codringer and Fen a visit. Rents burns their place, and it seemed like they are both killed by the fire. Also in this episode, Cahir meets up with Gallatin, and they agree to become allies. In episode 3, Geralt takes Taryn to see a healer named Annika. With the help of Annika and her partner, Otto Duzzard, Taryn is given an elixir that would make her tell them who had messed up with her memories. At Aretuza, Yennefer goes alone to visit Tissaia, who informs her that she will need to seek forgiveness of the other members of the council. For the meantime, Tissaia agrees that Ciri could stay in Aretuza as a novice. Istrid and a Nilfgaardian spy are seen searching for the fabled Book of Monoliths. The spy tells Istrid that the White Flame has a special interest in the book. In Annika's place, the extraction portion causes Taryn to reveal that she was possessed by a mage. Taryn talks about hearing voices in her head. Geralt goes after the mage, leaving Taryn with Annika. In Redania, Philippa and Dijkstra decide that they needed to make Vizimir enemies with the Nilfgaardian again. Queen Hedwig is murdered under Dijkstra instructions and had the head sent to Vizimir. He was made to believe that Hedwig was killed by the Nilfgaards. Radovid is aware of this, but is scared to speak about it. Rents approaches Lydia and tells her that he needs to speak to her master. Apparently, Rents had also desires, and he is ready to make it known to the master. Emir forms an alliance with Cahir, but before he would do that, Cahir had to kill his longtime friend Gallatin on Emir's orders. The episode ends with Geralt arriving just in time to save Ciri from the Wild Hunt. Another shocking part of this episode is when it is revealed that the Wild Hunt was physically present. In episode 4, Cahir is sent on a mission by Emir. He has to track down Francesca alone. Yennefer presents her plan before the Brotherhood. Although Stregobor is not happy about Yennefer's return, Tissaia and Vilgefortz have given her their support. After a while, the other members of the Brotherhood also begin to accept Yennefer's plan. Geralt observes that Ciri's powers might have opted the doorway for the Wild Hunt to cross over. To resolve this issue, they have to go to Aretuza to meet the mage. Meanwhile, Yennefer is doing a good job in Aretuza politically. Tissaia praises Yennefer for her efforts so far. Geralt and Ciri meet up with Jaskier to get a ferry that will take them down to Aretuza. But first of all, they have to defeat a water monster called Eshna. Yennefer pays visit to Redania with the intention of inviting Philippa to the Conclave. Vizimir supports Yennefer by instructing Philippa, Dijkstra, and Radovid to attend the Conclave. While working together, Geralt and Ciri are able to kill the monster, Eshna. With Ciri delivering the final blow, the scene cuts to reveal Fringilla at the tavern. She overhears the bartender talk about the upcoming conclave at Aretuza. Geralt, Jaskier, and Ciri reunites with Yennefer. Yennefer and Geralt attend the conclave together, leaving Ciri with Jaskier. Elsewhere, Cahir tracks down Francesca and suggests to her that they should work as a team. Triss and Istredd trace the Stella site from the corrupted portal to Stregobor. Geralt and Yennefer also come to the same conclusion while discussing about the portal and illusion. The episode comes to a close with everyone getting ready for the ball and conclave. Episode 5 marks the ending of the first half of Season 3. Episode 5 begins with Geralt and Yennefer having one of their romantic moments. The pair also work together to show everybody that Stregobor is the evil one. Geralt and Yennefer get a lot of attention at the ball. During the ball, Yennefer discovers the stolen book of monoliths inside Stregobor's study. With this evidence, Yennefer and Geralt accuses Stregobor openly at the ball. Stregobor seems to be shocked and he denies the allegations. Right now, everyone assumes that Stregobor is the culprit, but while Geralt and Yennefer are chatting, all the fact points to one direction. The guilty one was Vilgefortz. He has been the one carrying out the experiments and controlling Rents and Lydia. Philippa and Dijkstra had also gotten wind of this fact, but Yennefer misunderstood them. Yennefer and Geralt split up so Yennefer can find Tissaia and give her a heads up. Geralt goes after Vilgefortz to stop him, but immediately, Geralt enters the hallway. He is stopped by Dijkstra holding a knife to his throat. The episode ends, leaving everyone in a great suspense. Episode 6 continues from exactly where Episode 5 had stopped. Dijkstra is holding a knife to Geralt's throat. It appears that Geralt and the Redanias have the same goal, so his life is not in danger. Dijkstra and other Redanian soldiers have apprehended most of the mages. However, Yennefer was able to escape through a secret opening before they could get to her. Vilgefortz and Artoris are among those that have been captured. All the attempts by the Redanians to prove to Tissaia that Vilgefortz was guilty fails. To make matters worse, Tissaia frees all the mages and a fight ensues. While the fight is going on, Geralt goes to look for Ciri. Yennefer meets up with Ciri outside the walls of Aretuza, and they all head down to catch the ferry. Geralt also catches up with them. Back at Aretuza, Vilgefortz reveals his true self by opening the doors to the Nilfgaard and Scoia'tael army. The Scoia'tael use arrows covered in Dimitrium to kill the mages. Tissaia launches a spell at Francesca, but Filavendrel steps in and is blown into pieces. Fringilla also defends Francesca by killing Artorias. Seeing that there is no way they could win, Tissaia decides to summon a spell called Alzur's Thunder. The spell by Tissaia causes a huge lightning rod to rain down electricity on everyone below. Fringilla uses her magic shield to protect herself and Francesca. Elsewhere, Yennefer notices that the spell has been summoned by Tissaia when she sees a dark cloud above Aretuza. Knowing that the impact of the spell could kill Tissaia, Yennefer bids Geralt and Ciri goodbye and goes to meet Tissaia. Meanwhile, Geralt and Ciri are attacked by Cahir, but he later surrenders to Ciri and pledges his life to her. At the same time, some elves arrive and Cahir offers to handle them while Geralt and Ciri flees. He promises to find her again. Vilgefortz catches up with Geralt and beats him to a pulp. Vilgefortz could have finished Geralt, but he refuses, leaving him half dead as his lesson to the continent. After dealing with Geralt, Vilgefortz goes after Ciri, who had just escaped to Tor Lara. As the last resort, Ciri uses her magic on a portal within the tower. As a result of this, the tower explodes, and the force from the magic affects Vilgefortz outside, leaving him in a terrible state. The episode ends with Yennefer leading the Tissaia and the surviving mages across the island. Triss also saved Geralt's body from drowning. In episode 7, Jaskier expresses his desire to track down his family, referring to Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer. Surprisingly, he runs into Yennefer and she gives him an update on Geralt's whereabouts, telling him that Geralt was taken to Brokilon to heal. Yennefer also informs Jaskier that Ciri was yet to be found. However, she might have been taken to Nilfgaard. Ciri was dropped by the Tor Lara portal at Korath Desert, where she is defended by a unicorn against a sandstorm. Ciri suffers from hallucinations, where she sees her mother, Pavita, and grandmother Calanthe. Ciri is taunted in these hallucinations and referred to as a burden to Geralt and Yennefer. Ciri is introduced to a woman known as Falka in the hallucinations. Falka helps Ciri to tap into her inner powers. Throughout a large part of this episode, Ciri has to struggle with these hallucinations. Besides the hallucinations, Ciri has faced with multiple dangers from the Korath Desert. The unicorn helps her all the way and protects her from another monster. The unicorn gets poisoned and Ciri uses her magic to heal it. Ciri's power scares the unicorn and it separates herself from her. Ciri passes out to an oasis and is abducted by a group of bounty hunters. Jaskier arrives at Brokilon and pays Geralt a visit. He tells Geralt that Ciri is most likely on her way to Nilfgaard. Finally, we are at episode 8. Geralt is still in bad shape. The sorceress of Aretuza are still all in the Ammonite mines, where Vilgefortz had experimented and killed a couple of girls. They reverse the damage done by Vilgefortz and bury the girls properly. King Vizimir is not happy about what happened to the Brotherhood at Aretuza. To make amends, he intends to place all the blame on Philippa and kill her. Dijkstra seemed to be on the same page with the king. Unknown to the duo, Philippa's lover and handmaid was listening to the conversation. Back at Aretuza, Yennefer talks to Tissaia and encourages her not to feel guilty about the whole Vilgefortz issue. Sadly, Tissaia still commits suicide during the burial of the girls. She felt responsible for all Vilgefortz's actions. Yennefer returns to Brokilon and heals Geralt. They both conclude that it would be better for Yennefer to stay with the sorceresses. Geralt vows to destroy Vilgefortz and Emir. Back in Redania, Philippa's handmaid and lover kills Vizimir under Philippa's instructions. On the other hand, Fringilla tries to convince Francesca not to hand over everything to Emir. Fringilla reveals that it was the Emperor that killed her baby and then tried to set Fringilla up for it. By exposing this truth, Fringilla also reveals that her lie ended up getting so many of Francesca's loved ones killed. Francesca pledges to make Emir and Fringilla suffer. Upon the death of Vizimir, Rodovid automatically becomes king. At Aretuza, Yennefer brings all of the mages that are alive together. In Nilfgaard, Emir presents the fake Ciri, Terran, to the court. Vilgefortz is also seen inside the Nilfgaard court. he has lost an eye and severe burns were visible on his face. One of the rats, Kayleigh, helps Ciri to escape from the bounty hunters. During the flight with the bounty hunters, Ciri kills a human for the first time. In the last few scenes of the episode, Geralt fights against the Nilfgaardians to defend a young girl and her family. It is followed with a letter from Yennefer. Geralt sends a message to Emhyr that he is coming to get Ciri. The final scene shows Ciri with the rats after killing the bounty hunter. Ciri introduces herself to Missel as Falka, which is quite a disturbing way to end the season. If you enjoy watching this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.